Today's Whiskey Wednesday is brought to you by Augusta Distillery.
All right, we are at Augusta Distillery, and today we're finding out a little bit more about the process that goes into making their delicious bourbon. Of course, we have Master Distiller. We've got Alex Castle with us. So, Alex, talk to us about the process here and what all goes into making this delicious bourbon.
Yeah, so at Augusta, we believe in making bourbon the traditional way. We really don't do things very, very differently, and that, of course, starts with our mash bill.
Okay, wow.
And
let's
so,
tell us
let's
about
talk
that
about the mash bill.
All right. Yeah.
So our tour actually starts in this room because bourbon, at least 51% corn, right? That's
I did know that. Right. Yes.
Incredibly important part of it. And here at Augusta, we believe in doing a really high corn content. We like the sweetness that comes with that. And so we do about 75% corn.
Oh, okay.
And so that is, all of our mash bills are high corn content. And then our flavoring grain, you can do rye or you can do wheat. Right. We prefer rye. We like the spice that it can give. And so any of our mash bills could be as low as maybe 8% rye, but as high as 20% rye as well. And then of course we use malted barley as the balance because of the enzymes that are in there. So we need to have that for the production process.
That's awesome. We can go ahead and take a look at that process?
Absolutely. Okay. Let's go. So now we're really where the magic happens. This is where production takes place 24 hours a day. Right behind us are the mash tubs. This is where we're going to take that grain that we just talked about and we're going to combine it with water. And all of the starches in the corn will be converted to sugar. And that's important because the next part of the process, fermentation, utilizes that sugar. So at the end of the cooking process, we add yeast. That yeast is taking that sugar and it's going to convert it to alcohol, heat, and CO2. So the alcohol is ultimately what we're going for. And so all of that happens in these fermentation vessels over the course of 72 hours. So going back to that traditional method of making bourbon, we don't try to rush fermentation. We don't rush the cooking process. We let it go about the way that it was done for a really long time. And so over 72 hours, that sugar is consumed, and we end up with about 8 to 10% alcohol, distiller's beer.
Wow. And as a master distiller, do you spend much time up here?
I actually get to be up here just about every day. I'm very hands-on, helping train employees, but also just ensuring that we're doing things right.
Now, this is not the time to drink this, is it?
It's not, but what's great is it's actually fun to taste them throughout the process. Early fermentation, they're sweet because it's grain, it's cereal. And then as it gets further into the process, it'll actually become less sweet and more sour because all the sugar is gone.
So interesting. It's just like a little science experiment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I got a C in science, by the way.
So don't let you do the science fair project.
I would not make a good master distiller, no.
And so at the end of that 72 hours, we have beer and we're ready to distill.
All right. Let's get to it.
All right, Alex, tell us about the bottling process.
Yeah, so because we're single barrel, we're talking about really small volumes at a time. And so for that, we do everything by hand.
Wow, everything?
Everything by hand.
Labeling everything.
Hand write on every label that goes out this building, hand cork, hand apply the labels, everything by hand.
Wow. That's a tedious process.
It is rather labor intensive, as you can see behind us. We've got quite a team back there. It's a labor of love.
Yeah, but it makes it special.
It does, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing this experience with us today. We had such a great time.
Thank you guys so much for coming out.
Today's Whiskey Wednesday was brought to you by Augusta Distillery.
Okay, so that's the opposite of AI, right?
Yes,
they do everything
right.
the traditional way. You've got to check out Augusta Distillery in Augusta, Kentucky. All of the information is up on the screen.